I'm sure by now you have seen this piece of news everywhere on the internet about Minister Chee Hong Tat mentioned that they might be considered removing the 15-month wait-out period when HDB prices continue to moderate for private homeowners looking to right-size to a resale HDB. But do you know what are the hidden message behind this piece of news and how is this going to impact the HDB sellers and buyers from 2025 onwards? Hello, I'm Christina and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to break down this piece of news into bite sizes and for any sellers and buyers looking to buy a HDB from 2025 onwards, keep watching. The insight and opinions that I share in this video are based on my personal experience and perspective. I'm not affiliated with any government agency or official organizations. Please conduct your due diligence before making any property-related decisions. So based on the article, I have summarized the point below. So for point number 1, 15-month wait-out period rules may be erased sooner. This rule was initially implemented back in September 2022 is for private homeowners to wait for 15 months before buying a resale HDB, and this could be relaxed before 2027. This is because there is an expected increase in resale flat supply starting from 2026. So if this rule is removed, it is a no-brainer that there will be more cash-rich buyers from disposing their private property. They will have higher purchasing power and HDB prices will continue to go up and they will definitely outbid the first-time homeowners. And for the second point, resale supplies are set to rise. So we can see from here, there will be over 50,000 new BTO flats that will be launching between 2025 to 2027. And of course, there will be many resale flats that will be reaching their 5 years MOP starting from 2026, and this will boost the supply. And of course, if there are more supplies in the resale market, resale flats are set to stable or dip when the supplies increase. And for the third point, HDB resale prices growth has slowed down. And we saw that in Q1 2025, there is an increase of 1.6%, and this is down from 2.6% in Q4 2024. So these are the early signs suggest that resale market is stabilizing and supporting a possible change of rules. And for the fourth point, it is our government goals to keep flat affordable for first-timer. Policy aim to prevent resale prices from rising too fast, making it difficult for first-time buyers. So our dear first-timer Singaporean, don't worry, government is keeping HDB prices in check and making sure it will be affordable for everyone. So today, I will be splitting my content into two parts. First part, I will be explaining what is this 15-month wait-out period, how it came about, its effectiveness on keeping HDB prices in check, and deep dive into 5-room HDB and executive. For the second part, I will be looking into HDB resale prices when there are increasing BTO launches and MOP flat. With that, I will also be covering the new HDB classifications on BTO flats starting from October 2024 launches and how HDB sellers and buyers can navigate with these new policies in today's market. And lastly, what is the area of opportunity that I have spotted? So what is this 15 months wait out? So this is introduced back in September 2022. The 15 months wait out period requires private homeowners aged 55 and below to wait 15 months after selling their private property before they can buy a non-subsidized HDB resale flat. This does not apply to owners aged 55 and above and looking to buy 4-room or smaller HDB. So why is this implemented? So this was implemented mainly because HDB prices shot up too quickly after COVID and has become a concern to many young couples. And of course, it was partly contributed by the demand from private property downgraders with the flush of capital from their sales proceeds. Indeed, prior to 2022, I have met up with a number of aging couples looking to cash out from their private properties and right-size to a HDB with a substantial amount for their retirement. With that, they were able to fully pay off a resale HDB. Usually, they will be looking for a 5-room and above because they are so used to the space from their old place. As such, this has caused a sharp rise in HDB prices, especially for 5-room and executive. Let's take a look at the HDB resale price index over the past 5 years. Prior to September 2022, HDB price grew steadily at roughly 3% per quarter, and that would mean 12% in a year. And after the 15 months wait-out period was introduced, HDB prices continue to grow at a much slower rate, with the lowest record at 0.9% in the last quarter. But if you were to look at the price movement since Q3 2022 till date, the prices has rose up to 70% by now. And now, let's dive into 5-room and executive flat. This is the price chart for the last 10 years for 5-room and executive HDB. You can see that prior to COVID, from 2015 to 2020, 5-room grew by 6.17% and executive is a mere 1.5%. During COVID, from 2020 to 2022, both 5-room and executive shot up exponentially by 20.7% and 22.6% respectively. Even with the 15 months wait-out period, both 5-room and executive HDB still see growth of roughly 18%. So do you think the price have moderated? Perhaps more on the 4-room and the smaller HDB. But what is the reason behind the growth of 5-room and executive HDB? One of the reasons, in my opinion, is the limited number of 5-room and executive flat, particularly the executive. HDB has stopped building executive flat in August 1995 after the introduction of the executive condominium housing scheme. And if you have been following the HDB BTO launches, you will start to realize HDB no longer builds 5-room HDB in mature estate, or in the new terms, the prime locations. As the demographic changes, with more dual income, no kids families and single, HDB has started to shift their directions of new housing as well. So for now, I don't think our government will remove the 15-month wait-out period because the prices are still on the high side. Many buyers are now sitting on the fence waiting for the prices to come down. Honestly, it might come down for the smaller flat, but given the limited supply of 5-room HDB and executive HDB and the space that it can offer, it is still unbiddable by many new flats. So I believe 5-room and executive HDB prices are likely to hold or grow steadily. So now, on to part 2 of our topic. So before we begin with the HDB supply, I would like to share this piece of interesting price fact in Singapore new and resale property market. Let's start off with private. Usually you will realize that for new launches, the PSF is usually more expensive than resale, and this resulted in a price gap between the new launch and resale. So let's standardize the size to be 1,000 square feet. Say a new launch today costs 2,000 PSF and that works out to be 2 million, and then the resale would cost around 1,005 PSF and that will works out to be 1.5 mil. And due to this price gap, many buyers who are looking for an immediate space and looking at a more affordable pricing would naturally choose a resale option. As such, more people are likely to buy resale with a price gap of 500k, and this would allow and support the resale price to grow. However, HDB behaves in the opposite way. So say an average 5-room BTO at Woodlands costs about 400k, and once they hit their MOP, they will naturally price themselves to the nearby cluster of resale HDB, and say today a nearby resale have transacted at 900k, this newly MOP will price their flat at 900k and above because they are newer with more years of lease remain. So here is the issue. Every year, there are many HDB flats reaching their MOP, and generally for HDB, the layout are quite similar. So if a buyer who is looking for a flat in this cluster, and location-wise, they are all the same. If it was you, which would you prefer? Of course, the one with the newest lease, right? And so now, what is going to happen to those HDB that are getting older? Even if your HDB is getting older by 2 to 3 years, it starts to get harder to command at the same price as a newly MOP flat. And the only way is to drop your price. Remember from the news article, Minister Chee Hong Tat also mentioned about the upcoming BTO launches and MOP flat. Looking through the HDB press release for upcoming flat supply, there will be more than 50k units of BTO flat launched from 2025 to 2027, and they are on track with their plans of 130,000 BTO flat launched from 2021 to 2027. That is a good 21k unit launch every year. And not forgetting to mention, by 2028, there will be roughly 55k units of HDB reaching its MOP. Sounds a lot. So what is the impact? Back in 2013, it was last HDB resale peak due to a lack of new housing. To curb this HDB price increase, HDB launched a good 101k units from 2012 to 2014, and this has brought down the HDB prices for a good 8 years, seeing decline quarter on quarter. Of course, there are also other series of cooling measures implemented as well. So the immediate impact we see is those used to be hot selling places quiet down. For example, this block in Punggol see no transaction in the whole of 2013, and for the first transaction that came back 2 years later, dropped by 150k. Not forgetting to mention the lowest transacted 425k in August 2015. You think it only affects one location? No. This happened to Tampines as well. No transaction in the whole of 2014, and 1.5 years later, sales dropped by 80k. Same goes to Bukit Batok. No transaction in the whole of 2014, and 1.5 years later, dropped by 50k and continued to drop to 665k in 2017. And that is a 100k drop in 4 years. When the government announced that there will be an increase in BTO launches, that is a key indicator that prices are expected to moderate in times to come. So HDB owners, what can you do to preserve your wealth that has accumulated over the last property bull run? Don't worry, I'm getting there soon. So this is the new HDB classifications for BTO flat starting in October 2024 launches. In 2023 National Day Rally, it was announced that the old HDB classification of matured and non-matured area were no longer relevant, and this will be the replacement. HDB will now split into 3 categories: Standard, Plus, and Prime. Standard would be the majority of the flat. Standard subsidized, Standard 5 years MOP, can rent out whole flat after reaching MOP. However, Plus and Prime, although they will be receiving more subsidies, MOP now has rise to 10 years and no renting of the whole units. It also comes with tighter resale condition for Plus and Prime flat. These conditions apply to the resale buyer as well. From this map, you can see prime locations are mostly the mature estate, but for Plus, it is also located in the outskirts of Singapore. So Plus would likely to be near MRT or town center. So recently, I have met up with a couple in their late 30s looking for possible housing options that are available to them. They are currently living in their BTO homes in Sengkang along Riverview Crescent. One issue they face is the limited amenities near them. As you can see from the map, their house is inside a loop of Riverview Crescent with a feeder bus to bring them to the nearest MRT. Although it is only a 4 bus stop away, but when it is not peak hour, the frequency of the bus will take up to 20 minutes, which isn't very ideal for them. As for the nearest mall, it will take them on an average of 15 to 20 minutes walk. In addition, you can see that very close to them, there is this Riverview Shore where there will be 2,500 units reaching its MOP in 2027. After what they have shared with me, I propose to swap their current 4-room HDB to a 5-room HDB that will be nearer to the MRT, and the cost of this upgrade will be negligible. Here is what I have proposed. Their current 4-room HDB at Riverview Crescent would fetch at a price ranging from 600,000 to 650,000, and the 5-room HDB that I proposed is along Compassvale Road, price ranging from 680k to 700k. And I showed them the calculations for this plan. Starting from the left, back in 2012, they bought this unit for around 289k. With 80% loan, at 2.6% interest per annum with 25 years loan tenure, their monthly mortgage works out to be $1,049 per month. Moving on to the right, beginning with the selling part first and being more conservative, I estimated their selling price at $630K minus away their outstanding loan of $180K. They will receive $450K in cash and CPF after the sales of their units. Assuming they use their full amount of $450K back to the new 5-room HDB at $680K, after paying the buyer stamp duty of $15,000, they will still need to take a loan of $245K. Assuming they opt for a HDB loan with 2.6% interest per annum with 25 years loan tenure, their monthly mortgage for the next housing will be $1,099 per month. Isn't it great? They get to move from 4-room to 5-room HDB, closer to MRT and more. Best part, it is just $50 more per month, which can be easily covered by their monthly CPF. To further ensure the possibility of this plan, I did another set of calculations, and this time round, keeping $100K as reserve fund, which I'm going to show next. Whatever is on the left remain unchanged. Let's take a look on the right side, buying portions. Assuming everything remains the same as previous calculations, this time round, we reserve $100K. The loan now goes up to $345,000. Assuming the same 2.6% interest per annum with 25 years loan tenure, their monthly mortgage of the next housing will be $1.548 per month, roughly $500 more per month. However, with this $100K reserve, they could spend some of it on renovation and keep the rest for rainy days. In today's market, when retrenchment is so common, this $100K reserve could help to pay off the monthly mortgage for at least the next 5 years. With this, it gives them the peace of mind and proceed with this plan. In summary, in order to preserve the wealth that has been accumulated from your property in the last bull run, first, check on your surrounding, whether there will be any new BTOs and MOP flat near you that will inevitably put your unit in an unfavorable position in times to come. Second, always aim to swap for a bigger or higher asset class property. It not only increases the livable space, it also acts as a form of forced saving. By the age of 65 years old, everyone pays off their property, whether you like it or not. Whether your property worth 800K or 2 million, it depends on your decision today. Third, make use of the new policy implemented. Move to a location that is highly sought after, such as near school, near mall, and best is near MRT. I mean, who doesn't like to stay near the MRT, right? It can really cut short your traveling time by 10 to 20 minutes from the feeder bus waiting and traveling. In addition, nowadays there are more financially savvy young adults, and to them, time is money. Even though many would say that getting a BTO is a good way to build wealth, it involves at least 2 to 3 years of building and another 10 years of MOP for plus and prime location, instead of the usual 5 years. With these 7 to 8 years of differences, you could have many other ways to build your wealth, especially during your prime years. Of course, everyone can have plans for themselves differently, and what I have just shared is not a one-size-fits-all solution. Do meet up with a trustworthy property advisor and listen to what he or she has to offer. Understand the plan, and only when you have a clear direction, be brave, trust the process, and make a move. So I have come to the end of my sharing today. Don't forget to join my Telegram channel for the latest update on Singapore property. It is also where I share exclusive insight and behind-the-scene thought that I don't post publicly on this channel. From time to time, I will also notify subscribers about bounce out units and those rare opportunities that are not immediately available to the public. If you found this video helpful, do give it a like, share it with someone who might benefit from it, and subscribe to my channel. So I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!